Sri Gurubhyo Namaha children. Today we are going to discuss a very interesting topic and it is a very important topic also. Why it is so interesting? Because here we are going to learn about a different compound. Normally we have learnt about the salt, that means the simple salts and mixed salts. But in this lesson we are going to discuss a different complex. Okay, let me show you the topic. What are we going to learn? Right? So, our topic is coordination compounds. I hope you're all aware of this term because already we have learned this term in the previous lesson. That means D block elements. Is it not? So, what are these coordination compounds? To know about that, let us enter into the topic. And also, what are the things we are going to learn in this lesson? We're going to learn about the postulations of Werner's theory and important terms regarding the coordination compound and what are the rules to be followed for writing the formula and rules of nomenclature. Usually we'll use IUPAC rules to write the names of the compound, isn't it? So according to that, how to write the names of the coordination compounds and what are the rules to be followed. Next, types of isomerism. Every compound, chemical compounds will have their own isomers, right? The same way, these coordination compounds also have isomers, right? So about that also we are going to discuss in this lesson. Then nature of bonding. What type of bond? Because the term itself tells us that definitely there will be a different bonding nature of these compounds, right? And using two theories, we are going to learn the nature of bonding, and the theories are VBT and CFT, right? VBT is nothing but valence bond theory, okay? It is nothing but valence bond theory, right? And CFT means crystal field theory. Okay, so regarding the nature of bonding, discussing about these two topics, that means covering these two theories only, we'll be learning the nature of bonding in this type of compound. And stability of the coordination compound. What does mean by stability? In aqueous form as well as in the solid form, whether any factors will affect the compound or not. That is what called stability, right? So about the stability of coordination compounds also we are going to discuss. Then importance. What are the important features of this compound and what are the important uses, that means applications. These compounds have wide application, wide range of application in different fields. Okay, so about all that things we are going to discuss in this lesson today. Let us enter into the topic of coordination compounds. Now, coordination compounds are formed by the transition metals. Okay, so what are called transition metals? They are nothing but D block elements. And what are the reasons for the D block elements specifically to form such compounds? Because we have compounds like S block and P block also. But these two will not involve, okay, in this coordination compound formation. But D block elements can form the coordination compounds. And what are the reasons behind that? Because of smaller size of the atoms. Okay, as the atoms are so smaller in size, Okay, so as they are so smaller in size, they are very compact enough to combine with any other atom to form this complex. That means the coordination complexes, right? And due to the high ionic charge. Okay, so this is the first reason, due to the smaller size and high ionic charge. Ionic charge, you know very well that d block elements are usually positive, okay, highly electropositive. So these compounds can combine with negatively charged particles or neutral compounds, right? So that the compounds formed by these are complexes. Okay, many number of negatively charged ions and neutral compounds can combine with this d block element to form such compounds. And what would be the third reason? The third reason is, you all know that d block elements have vacant d orbital. That means empty d orbital. Okay, vacant means what? Empty, right? So empty d orbitals they have. So due to that empty d orbitals, they have the electrons in the lower energy level. Now those electrons can be occupied, okay, in this empty orbitals, right? So these three are the reasons why d block elements can form coordination complexes. Is it clear, children? Now, these coordination compounds are playing a very important role in the biological thing. Okay, here you could see the plant. Why is it green in color? Okay, the leaves are green in color, right? It is due to the presence of green pigment called chlorophyll, right? The green color is due to presence of green pigment chlorophyll, right? So the presence of chlorophyll is giving the green color to the leaf. Actually, this chlorophyll is the complex of magnesium metal. Okay, here you have magnesium. This is a complex, coordination complex of metal magnesium, right? So the metal magnesium is getting electrons from the nearby atoms, and then it will be highly magnified, right? Okay. So not only in chlorophyll, even in the human blood, hemoglobin. What is this actually? It is hemoglobin, right? Hemoglobin. So this is the structure of hemoglobin, where iron is the central metal atom. You see this here? Iron is the central metal atom, where it is getting the electrons from the nearby atoms. That means the atoms are surrounded. Okay, these are the atoms surrounded. So from these atoms, iron will get the electron. You understand? So this is also a complex of iron, right? And the next one, if you take vitamin B12, which is chemically termed as cyanocobalamin, which is actually the cobalamin. It is due to the name of the metal cobalt. Okay, so here is the metal, which is the central metal atom, and cyanocobalamin is the complex of cobalt. Is it clear? So these are the coordination compounds actually. Now, already we know that that means we have learned already about the salt, right? So what is salt? Salt is nothing but a product of acid and base. What is it? Actually, it is a product of acid and base. When acid reacts with base, then the product form will be salt and water. Okay. So acids will liberate H plus. Acids will liberate proton. Bases will liberate OH minus ions, so that water will be formed as a result. Then what is salt? The radical, okay, negative radical. For example, we have Cl minus as a negative radical of acid. Whereas here in this base, let us take sodium is the positive radical of base, right? So that salt formed will be NaCl. So this is the salt here, okay? And it is simple salt, as it contains one acid radical and one basic radical. It is considered to be the simple salt. Let us come to the topic simple salt, because salt can be divided into two types. Okay, one is simple salt and the other one is mixed salt. Okay, simple salt, for example, NaCl is a simple salt which contains one positively charged ion and one negatively charged ion. Okay, so let us take the other examples here. For example, KCl, which is a simple salt. How can we say this is a simple salt? Because on dissociation, it gives one positive ion and one negative ion. That means it is not that it should give only one positive and one negative alone. Okay, it can give two also. For example, let us take MgCl2, right? MgCl2. Okay, so in this complex, we have two ions. What are they? They are Mg2 plus and 2Cl minus. Only thing, the number of ions, that means the charge of ion may different, but the number of ions will be the same here. Okay, so Mg2 plus, which is the charge magnesium, and 1 minus is the charge of fluorine. So if two magnesium ions are produced, then four fluorine ions will be produced by this complex. Can you understand, children? So this is what called simple salt. So simple salts give simple ions on dissolution. Whereas the second thing is mixed salt. Okay. What is mixed salt? It may have two or more than two simple salt in it. Okay. For example, we have potash alum. Formula can be written as K2SO4 dot Al2SO4 tri dot 24H2O. That means water molecules will be present. And this is called water of crystallization. Okay. Now in this complex, we have two simple salts. And when these two simple salts are mixed with each other in the presence of water, then we'll be getting the mixed salt. Is it clear, children? Now, then what is meant by coordination compounds? Actually, these compounds are special class of compounds, right? In which the metal atom or ion, which metal atom? D block metal atoms, which is bound with a number of anions or neutral molecules. Okay, so any number of anions can be attached to the central metal atom. If you see this structure, see here, this is central metal atom. Cobalt is the central metal atom where 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 ammonia molecule are attached with it. And outside that, Three chloride ions are attached as counter ions. Okay, I'll explain you later what is meant by counter ion and what are these terms. We'll learn shortly. Okay. Now, in modern terminology, these compounds are termed as, they called as coordination compounds. Yes, good. Actually, these coordination compounds are addition compounds, a type of addition compound. What are addition compounds? Already I told you that when two or more stable compounds are allowed to combine in stoichiometric ratios, then a crystalline compound will be formed as a result. Okay, on heating. Okay, on heating, we'll be getting the crystalline compound. And such compounds are only called as addition compounds or the compounds. Okay, see here we have an example, that means a video will show you how the addition compounds are formed. See, this is one content and here we have another content. When these two contents are added together and heated for a while, a crystalline substance will be formed. Okay, see, the crystal will be formed and that crystalline compounds are actually called as what? Addition compounds. Is it clear, children? This compound is actually addition compound. Okay. Okay. So these crystals are formed and these crystals are only called as addition or molecular compounds. Now addition or molecular compounds can be classified into two types, right? What are they? Double salt, which can be otherwise called as lattice compound, and then complex compounds are coordination compounds, right? So double salt, which are otherwise called as lattice compound. And the second category of addition or molecular compound is called complex or coordination compound. We have an example here and it is double salt, okay, where we have some examples. Already I told you anyway. Let me tell you once again. See, double salt will have simple salts within it, right? Okay. This is double salt, which is shortly called as potash alum. Potash alum. So why it is called as double salt? Because it contains two simple salts in it, right? And lattice compound, why they are called as lattice compound? Because they'll maintain a lattice structure like this. And in this lattice structure, these are called lattice point, lattice point. And in this point, positive and negatively charged ions will be fixed. Okay. Whereas this space is called interstitial space, right? The space is called interstitial space. And in this space only, the small molecules, small atoms like hydrogen or carbon or nitrogen will take part. Okay. Now, here we have the complex compounds, which are otherwise called as coordination compounds. In this complex, it is also due to the addition of stable compounds. For example, let us take, we have KCN, okay, and then AgCN. So when these two complexes are added together, Let silver or potassium will be playing the role of cation, and inside the sphere the cyanide ions will go and such compounds will be formed. Okay, but on dilution, it will be getting segregated as K plus, and this will become a complex anion. Okay, so it will not be dissociated. Now we have AgCl, right? This AgCl will not get dissociated into simpler compounds. Is it clear? Now, what is double salt? Let us go in detail about double salt. Double salts are the molecular compounds, that means addition compounds. Otherwise, we can call it as what? Addition compounds. Okay. These are otherwise called as addition compounds. And they are stable in solid state. Okay, how can we say it is stable in solid state? Because these double salts will not get dissociate. When it is a hard solid, if it is a hard solid, okay, it will not produce any free ions. Okay, ions will not be produced. Negative or positive will not be produced by them. It will be rigid. But in aqueous solution, they'll get breakdown into individual constituents. That means when dissolved in water, that's what we called it as what? Aqueous. Okay, aqueous. And when it is dissolved, it produces the individual ions, right? And those individual ions will have their individual property. For example, if we have the double salt, K2SO4 and Al2SO4, right? When it is getting dissociated, we will get 2 K plus ions and 2 Al3 plus ions, and then SO4 2 minus ions, and there are 2, 3, 4 SO4 2 minus ions are there. So this is how they'll get dissociated. When they are dissociated, their individual properties will not be lost. Is it clear? Okay, let me show you a small video so that you will understand, and other examples also let me show you today. Okay. See, this is a double salt. Okay, the image of a double salt, right? So which is solid in state. In its solid state, it will be rigid. It will not produce any ions. But when it is dissolved in water, see, it can produce the ions, right? And it is completely dissolved here, see, producing the ions. Okay, but they will retain their individual property in aqueous solution. Okay, so that's why we call them as double salt. For example, this is example. If it is potash alum, then it produces 2 K plus ions and 2 Al3 plus ions and 4 SO4 2 minus ions. Right? Okay. See here. Now the potash alum is dissolved. Sulfate ions are produced, potassium ions are produced, and aluminum ions are produced during the dissolution. Okay. So these are called double salts. So that the individual property of the constituents will not be lost. Right? And the next examples, other examples of double salt. Also we have, one is carnallite and the other one is more salt. Okay, one is carnallite and the other one is more salt. So carnallite is nothing but a complex of KCl and MgCl2. That means potassium chloride and magnesium chloride. Whereas the other example is more salt, which is shortly called as FAS, ferrous ammonium sulfate. Okay, So these are also some other examples of double salt. Now, coordination compounds are also called as addition compounds. And these addition compounds have some different property compared to double salt. Okay, even though they are addition compounds, they retain their identity, not like double salts, because double salts on dissolution they'll get dissociated. But here, the complex of the coordination compound will not get dissociated. Okay, so they'll retain their identity in solid state as well as in the aqueous state. Aqueous state means what? In solution form. Okay, and the individual properties of these constituents are easily lost. Why it is lost? Like double salt, it will not be completely dissociated. Okay, only the part of anion will be dissociated, and the cation will be the simple cation, which is completely dissociated cation, but the anion will be like a complex. Okay, or else some complexes will have cationic part as the complex and anion as the simple one. We're going to discuss about all that things in the next topic. Okay, and when these are getting dissolved, they do not dissociate into simple ions. Simple ion in the sense what? Positive and negative ions will not be shown by these compounds. Okay, let me show you a small example here. Now this is a compound of a nickel complex. Okay, hexacyano-nickel complex which has potassium as the cation. So potassium hexacyanonickelate is the complex name. When it is dissolved in water, you could see only this potassium ion is getting completely dissociated, but the tetracyanonickelate, okay, the tetracyanonickelate will be the complex anion. Exactly the same way we have potassium ferrocyanide. This potassium ferrocyanide when dissolved in water produces potassium as cation and ferrocyanide as anion. That means complex anion. Okay, so these are some examples of coordination compounds. Can you see this complex? Okay, because potassium ferrocyanide cannot be dissociated into simple ions as ferrous and cyanide. And other examples are nickel complex, copper complex, silver complex. Right? All these are actually what? Coordination compounds. Right? Right. Okay. So, let us recall what are the things to discuss today. We started with the lesson coordination compounds, and we have discussed what are the things we are going to discuss in this lesson, right? And the coordination compounds, why are they formed? Specifically by d block elements, and the three reasons we discussed here: due to the smaller size, high ionic charge, and vacant d orbital. And we have seen some importance of the coordination complexes in this thing. That means in plants and biological systems like hemoglobin and cyanocobalamin and salts. Then coordination compounds. Why are they called as addition compounds? Addition compounds are of two types, double salt and okay, right. So tomorrow we'll discuss in detail about the important terms of coordination complexes. Okay, children? Thank you.